From News 3 Now, this is breaking news.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. We begin with breaking news.
News 3 Now has confirmed the identity of the man and woman found dead in their home yesterday in the town of Middleton. Our Arman Rahman is back at the scene live with the very latest. And Arman, we understand one of the victims worked at the Department of Transportation. Is that right?
That's right, Brady and Susan, for about 40 years, according to an internal message sent to DOT staff. David Pabst and his wife Terry died, quote, unexpectedly at their home yesterday. And according to WISC Secretary Christina Boardman, Pabst always had a smile and kind words to share. Now, a quick recap of yesterday's events. Sheriff's deputies were called here to Stonebrook Circle in the town of Middleton a bit after 2 p.m. for a welfare check. Meanwhile, a suspect in that double homicide had fled before law enforcement had arrived. They were then pulled over for a traffic stop in Vernon County, about 2 hours north. Authorities say the driver was not speeding and pulled over, but did not comply further with officers' requests. So that led to a standoff where they discovered the suspect had taken his own life inside.
At one point, an observer said that there just was no movement inside the vehicle, and then provided some other details to where we formulated a tactical approach to the vehicle when there were no signs of life, and we saw what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
And here is video of David Pabst from a story he did with our sister station TMJ4 in Milwaukee. According to that WISC message, Pabst had worked for the State Patrol for more than 38 years, serving as a trooper and inspector of the Northwest region before eventually being promoted to Bureau of Safety Director. And I'm here now live at the scene at the home in Stony Brook Circle in the town of Middleton. That has just been cleared here. Investigators beginning to leave, at least for the day. The Dane County Medical Examiner's Office have not confirmed the identity of the victims or the suspect. I reached out to them and were told to expect that to come tomorrow. For now, reporting live in the town of Middleton, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
Arman, thank you. News 3 Now will continue to provide updates on this story and all other breaking news. You can get notifications directly to your phone with the free Channel 3000 mobile app.
Well, on a much happier note, the third week of Concerts on the Square is getting underway this afternoon.
And it's a good night for it, too. Crews are setting up for tonight's event, and News 3 Now has live coverage. News 3 Now this morning's Kyrian Lee and Savannah Brito are live on the square with our evening anchor, Eric Franke. Greetings, everyone.
Brady, Susan, good afternoon. It is a beautiful day here.
Ooh.
And I've got the ladies from the morning show with me tonight. You guys awake?
I am.
Are you usually asleep by about now?
Let's see.
No.
Almost. I'd be getting ready for bed. You're up a little bit later
I
than me.
go to bed at a normal time,
Yeah.
and actually I took a little nap before I got here. So
There we go.
Well, everybody,
I'm cooking with gas.
everybody's going to come alive tonight with the performance of the Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra. We're going to talk more about the show coming up. Jolene is going to join us shortly to talk about Angela Brown, a soprano, who will be performing alongside the Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra tonight. A little taste of opera mixing with the Chamber Orchestra. So Joe will be along shortly to talk about the show. Meanwhile, a beautiful day to be in downtown Madison.
It is beautiful. We don't got any storms, so that's good. We're not tracking any rain in the forecast, at least for today for Concerts on the Square. It's a little warm, little humid. Our dew points are sitting right about in the mid-60s right now. Overall, not a bad night at all if you're planning on heading out to Concerts on the Square. It's the third week. 82, that's our temperature. We'll be at about 5 p.m., dropping to 79 by 7. And then overall, later tonight is when our temperatures are going to drop. We'll be actually down to about 60, most of us dropping into the lower 60s. Here's where we sit right now across Dane County, 81 in Madison, 82 in McFarland, 83 in Sauk City. Most of southern Wisconsin also seeing that. The focus is on our storm threat that we're going to see tomorrow. That'll last Friday and into Saturday. Each day we do have the chance of seeing a couple strong to even severe thunderstorms. There's a marginal risk for most of the area tomorrow, Madison and westward, and then they've even upgraded areas just south of Prairie du Chien for a slight risk. That'll be for tomorrow, on 2 days from now on Friday. We'll have more on that coming up in just a little bit. For now, I'll throw it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you, everyone. Well, to continuing coverage now, the Wisconsin Elections Commission is finally done with its investigation into Madison's missing ballots.
Last November, 193 absentee ballots went uncounted in 3 different wards, causing investigations from both the Wisconsin Elections Commission and the city of Madison.
It's also caused former Madison clerk Maribeth Witzel-Bale to step down. Ellie LaLiberte has been following the story for months now and joins us with a breakdown of this report. Ellie?
Yeah, Brady, Susan, one big takeaway from this report, the WEC chair is calling the actions of Witzel-Bale likely against the law. This draft report released today is 401 pages long. It breaks down both how these ballots went missing, but also shows who's to blame. Now, according to the draft, poll books were printed too early, and Witzel-Bale and her staff failed to take responsibility for the missing ballots, saying, quote, there was a complete lack of leadership. And although the uncounted ballots were not enough to change the outcome of any race, Ann Jacobs, the chair of the commission, says the sheer number of errors made by the clerk's office could not be ignored.
We did not find any evidence of election tampering. We didn't find any fraud. That's not what we found. What we found were processes and people that prevented those votes from being counted, and we can't tolerate that.
Now, I reached out to the city and was denied my request for an interview, but in a statement released today, city attorney and acting clerk Michael Haas says in part, quote, we are currently reviewing the WEC's report and hope it can provide lessons that we and other Wisconsin clerks can learn and prevent similar errors in the future. Now, this report found probable cause that Witzel-Bale violated 5 election laws. The WEC will meet next Thursday to review the investigation, but whether or not the former clerk is charged with any crimes will be up to the Dane County District Attorney.
Ellie, thank you. Madison Metropolitan School District Superintendent Dr. Joe Gothard held a news conference today to address the federal withholdings of grant dollars.
The funding was intended to support programming at MMSD and other Wisconsin public school districts. Dr. Gothard discussed how students, families, and staff are impacted by the lack of legislative support for public education.
But it's one without the help of the federal and additional help from our state government that's going to continue to repeat itself. So unfortunately, it's likely a cycle.
Dr. Gothard says the district has a lot of work ahead to figure out what the exact shortfalls will be.
Tomorrow, speaking of schools, One City Schools in Madison celebrates its 10-year anniversary.
Founder and CEO Kaleem Kerr stops by to talk about the milestone and the school's future.
Plus, Eric and Kyrian Lee are and Savannah Brito as well. We've got both sides of the clock represented tonight. They're live at Concerts on the Square, and they'll speak with the CEO of the Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra when we come back.
You're staying with us on Live at 4. Let's go back out to Concerts on the Square.
Our Kyrian Lee and Eric Franke join us live from downtown with a very special guest this afternoon. Take it away, guys.
Susan and Brady, once again, good afternoon with Kyrie on here. Beautiful day, and we got Joe Lanis here from the Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra, and another beautiful night. We were worried that first week, but now it's just awesome tonight.
Yeah, Alex at the station texted me Monday saying you should be good, which was the first Monday text I've gotten this summer, so I thought it'd be...
I don't think anything makes him more nervous than the Concerts on the Square forecast.
He takes his job very seriously, and I appreciate that.
Yes, we have definitely dodged any bad weather, and tonight it's good. I can already have a little, little dew on my forehead already. But this is week 3. How's the past couple of weeks shaped up for us over the past couple of weeks?
Andrew always presents great programs, varied programs. We've had really big crowds. I think the vibe is really good this year. Like there's just an energy that I've noticed, and I expect that to have the same tonight.
And you have an announcement really so people can access it. We want them to come down here and experience the concerts, but they want to take it with them now, right? Oh. They can stream it, they can hear it. There's an album.
Yeah, so back in 2023, we launched a 5-year recording project called Musical Landscapes in Color. We wanted to feature exclusively living Black American composers, perform them, record them, and then present it to the community and the nation and the world. And tonight we're releasing our 2nd album to the local community called Convergence. So you can stream it on any of your streaming platforms. We'll hear from some of those composers tonight. We performed it last October at Overture Center. So it's a really exciting project that we're planning to go through 2027.
What made this project so special? Convergence. It kind of speaks itself.
Yeah, you know, it's really interesting talking to the composers on this album, because it's classical music, but when you're in the arena, there's so much nuance, all the influences and impulses that these composers, like some composers are from LA, so they're influenced by Hollywood, and then there's some composers on the other side of the coast. So the convergence, when they talk about it, the different styles of those pieces are kind of converging together, but they're all living American composers, which is pretty unique in our field to release albums like that. So it's kind of like a convergence of sounds and styles that's really exciting.
Now, WCO is really, it thrives because of partnerships, and you've talked about that through the years, and UW Odyssey Project is something that's going to be profiled tonight. Tell us a little bit about what that is and how they're involved tonight.
Yeah, so UW Odyssey Project was founded 22 years ago by Emily Auerbach. It's a humanities one-year course for first-generation adult learners, and wildly successful. 90% of the students are at the poverty level. It's a really chance to give them a leg up and get them to that bachelor's degree, master's degree. And we, 2 years ago, reached out to them and said, hey, would you want to partner on this Musical Landscapes in Color project? Bring a cultural component to this humanities class. So when the composers are in town, they come to the class on Wednesday night, talk to the students about culture and music and all those influences. And we have one of the graduates as MC tonight, Brian Benford. So he's going to be speaking a little bit about the project and the partnership. And it really shows sort of the critical nature of our work, that we're a 501c3 arts organization finding authentic partnerships in the community to transform community through music.
Well, we truly have a multicultural show tonight with Angela Brown, a soprano, a little taste of opera mixing with the WCO, and we'll have the maestro on next hour to talk about this show. Really excited about it. Joe, great to see you. We'll talk to you again at 6, but special show on hand here on the Capitol Square. Concerts on the Square tonight. Let's go back to you guys. Savannah, by the way, will be back shortly with another look at our forecast for this evening. Susan, Brady?
Very nice. Sounds like it'll be a great show out there tonight.
Oh, yeah. You picked the right night, too. The sun and warm, but not that humidity that we have. Yeah. Enjoy it, guys. Thank you.
Well, Jacob is here. Yeah, the weather tonight is music to our ears, but we could be seeing some changes even by tomorrow, Jacob.
Yeah, the rest of the evening, perfect, but we are going to see some storms to end the week. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we could see some thunderstorms. Best chance will be Friday into Saturday, but then by Sunday will be very nice. So we are going to see at least one of the 2 weekend days feature some pretty nice conditions. Now, as we take a look at the severe weather outlook for your Thursday, Madison and areas to the west do have a marginal risk. So not expected to see widespread severe weather, but definitely the chance of severe weather will be there, with Friday being a little bit more likely. Marginal risk for everybody, slight risk in far southwest Wisconsin, and a much larger area of a slight risk in Iowa. So taking a look at the timing of all this, again, the rest of this evening and tonight, very dry, but we will start to see some showers and thunderstorms impact areas to the west Thursday morning. And then as we get towards Thursday afternoon, we'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. Nothing looks to be super consistent, so it looks like if it does rain in the afternoon, we'll be very brief. Now, just because this model does not show any rainfall for Dane County doesn't mean we won't see any, but overall, any part of our area has the chance to see those showers and storms for Thursday afternoon and evening. But although Thursday it'll be a little bit more isolated, we are going to see the storms a little bit more likely for Friday, and especially Friday night. So starting Friday morning, we'll see some scattered showers and storms, maybe a little bit of a break for Friday afternoon. But then as we get towards Friday evening and overnight, we'll see a line of showers and thunderstorms roll through, and this line of storms could bring that severe weather, with strong winds being the most likely hazard. And then as we get towards Saturday, we're going to see additional showers and storms develop, although right now it doesn't look like the rain Saturday will produce severe weather. We could see rain for a good chunk of the day, and then finally by Saturday night, it'll clear out of the area, and Sunday does look to be pretty good. So to recap those rain chances, again, each day does look to get progressively more likely, with the most likely time frame for rain being Friday night, but Saturday we will still see some rainfall before we dry up Sunday, and then for the middle of next week, we will see that rain return. Now, during all this, temperatures are going to continue to be pretty consistent, highs in the middle to lower 80s. No days in the 10-day forecast are going to be brutally hot. If anything, we may see some below normal temperatures by the time we get to the middle and end of next week, where we see highs in the upper 70s.
Thank you, Jacob. People in New Mexico are bracing for more storms after deadly flash floods overnight. At least 3 people, including 2 children, died in the southern part of the state after torrential rain triggered flooding. Authorities say victims got swept up in record-breaking floodwater in the Sierra Blanca mountain range, a popular summer retreat area.
Now, this is less than a week after the deadly flooding in Texas that has now killed more than 100 people. Right now, search and rescue crews are still looking for at least 160 still missing. Local officials are defending their response to the floods after mounting criticism about a lack of sufficient protocol.
And you can help efforts by donating. When you scan this QR code, your phone will take you to the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund's website. Anything you give goes directly to vetted organizations providing rescue, relief, and recovery efforts, as well as food assistance.
President Trump will impose up to 30% tariffs on 6 more countries, including the Philippines, Algeria, and Iraq. In letters sent this morning, the administration said the new tariffs go into effect August 1st if a deal is not reached. The president also announced yesterday he will impose a 50% tariff on all copper imports, which will impact manufacturing for cars and electronics. It's unclear when that tariff would start.
Coming up on Live at 4, One City Schools has reached a major milestone.
We'll sit down with the founder and CEO, Colleen Kerr, when Live at 4 continues. Madison's One City Schools marks a big milestone tomorrow. The independent charter school on Madison's South Side has been educating children now for a decade.
And One City is holding a community rally tomorrow at the Sylvie to celebrate its 10th anniversary. The founder and CEO of One City Schools, Colleen Kerr, is here with us today. Welcome back to Live at 4.
Thank
10 years.
Wow.
Time
10 years,
flies,
long time.
my friend.
Yeah, we
Good
made
to
it.
see you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, going back, when this all started, we wanted to know a little bit about how did you have this idea? And it sounds like you stepped away from Madison for a little bit. And how did that influence the birth of this?
You know, coming up here, education was something that was really important in our family, especially my grandmother. She grew up in the South, and down there they didn't have high schools or easily accessible schools. So she was always pushing that with us. And while I didn't do as well as I could have in high school, I was surprised when I went in the military, ended up at a black college, Hampton University, really matured, came back, and saw how many of our kids weren't going to school, how many weren't doing well, my own peers. And I was like, we got to do something about this. So I switched literally from being pre-med to actually going into education, and quickly came up with the thought that we got to develop new schools for kids.
And you blinked your eyes, and now 10 years have gone by. One City Schools is very unique. The demographics are very different than any other Madison public school. Explain a little bit about what makes One City special.
So we're the most diverse school. We have 92% students of color, 70% poverty, and 20% students with special education needs. There's no school like this in Dane County. But we also had the greatest increase in student performance last year for Black and Latino students, that we were really proud about. We have 2 teachers in the classroom through 2nd grade. We have a healthy meals program. Our kids eat free lunch, breakfast, snack. I don't know what's going to happen with the Trump administration peeling back things, but we've had that. We have academies where our kids do art, STEM. They get out in the world. They get to experience Madison the way families and kids with resources do. But the whole goal for us is to make sure our kids are ready to make this world better for all of us. And that's their education. That's the focus.
And of course, celebrating 10 years, but there are always challenges. You mentioned a few of them, and I believe one of them was the delayed start of the high school program. You know, how do you overcome things like that and keep going?
You know, we're an innovation, and not everything you try will work. And we're also very transparent. We're okay with telling people things that we've tried that don't work, because our hope is that the things that we do, that we do well, others will replicate and even do it better than us. The things that we don't do well, either they'll learn from them and maybe figure out a better way to do it, or decide maybe we don't go down that path. And we're not openly experimenting with our kids. We want our kids to do well. But as a public charter school, those schools are designed to seed innovation and for others to learn from them. So we tell everybody we're the lab school for the state of Wisconsin and Dane County, whether people like it or not. So we try things that didn't work. We had teachers that weren't ready for the students that we had, and students that honestly weren't ready for the curriculum that we had, a college prep and career prep curriculum. So we backed up, focused more downstream, and we'll see. We're still hopeful that we can bring high school back. But we're having conversations with our local schools too, school districts, about, maybe we can be a filter to bring kids who are really highly prepared to them.
And you're having a big celebration tomorrow night at the
Yes,
Sylvie. You have
absolutely.
a famous face coming to support you, as well as the fabulous Dr. Gloria Ladson-Billings.
Yes.
It's really a community celebration.
Oh, we decided, you know, one city, we were like, we're not really cool with shining lights on us like that. So we said, let's turn it into a rally. It's a fundraiser for us. We've never done one in 10 years. So we're like, let's turn it into a rally. And with all that's going on in education, let's get the community focused on young people. So we're expecting a good turnout and a good time.
And LeVar Burton might show up.
Yeah, he's coming to dinner with us tonight.
That's fantastic.
Where can we meet you?
I know. I would tell everybody there'd be a line of people, but he's a great person, interesting person. He said one comment he made to us was, he said, I look back on my life and he said, I realized in Roots, I educated people about what it was like for our people to come here as slaves. And then we had to become readers and learners in order to integrate here. So through Reading Rainbow, I helped us get set up for that. He said, and then with Star Trek, I have to aim for the stars.
Aww,
so he said, I'm putting
that.
this whole journey of my life together. And he ended with, so just be prepared. I'm coming as my authentic self.
That's really cool.
So it's going to be a great conversation.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Kaleem. Continued success with the school. Great to see you.
Thank you.
A local organization for people living with disabilities is moving.
When we come back, we'll tell you where Gigi's Playhouse will soon call home and what other changes you'll notice.
Watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Hello, everybody. Good to have you along with us on this Wednesday afternoon on Live at 4.
And let's begin today with coverage of tonight's concerts on the Square. News 3 Now, this morning's Kyrie Lee and Savannah Brito are live on the Square, and I have to give our evening anchor Eric Franke a shout out for wearing a suit jacket outside in July. Bravo.
It's very light. It's comfortable. It's a festive night. I wanted to dress for the occasion, and my Channel 3 shirts are all dirty. So what can I say?
Yeah.
Anyway,
it worked out.
With the ladies of the morning show, Kyrie and Savannah. It's a beautiful night here on the Capitol Square, and we're ready for some music here in a couple hours. But it's really a beautiful night, and the blankets are out.
Yes, they are out, and I will say that this morning when we were discussing the weather, Savannah said, "Oh, it's going to be comfortable."
Hey, this is near normal. This is
like
exactly
the heat,
where
though.
we should be.
Susan can attest. I like the heat.
Last week was hot.
I don't like the freezing winters. I don't like that.
Exactly.
Oh, now that's what I said. We were saying we're going to soak up all the sunshine we can, because next thing you know, we'll be talking about snowballs, and I don't have time for that.
Summer's going fast. We're already week 3 of concerts on the Square, and the good news is Savannah has a pretty nice forecast for us for tonight.
Yeah, it's a little humid, a little warm, but this is exactly where we should be across southern Wisconsin for this time of year, almost mid-July. 82, that'll still be the temperature. We're at 81 right now, still thinking we'll rise another degree. We have a lot of sunshine out there right now. 79 then by 7 p.m. the concert start time, and then by things wrapping up, 74, and temperatures will fall pretty quickly after that overnight, as skies are expected to stay pretty clear. We have light northerly winds too. It's not breezy. That might have helped things a little bit more. We've got a couple of storm chances tomorrow. Most of the area was increased or upgraded to a marginal risk, Madison and also westward. The better chance of storms, though, is going to come on Friday, and that lasting into the first half of Saturday. Dry conditions are going to return by Sunday. Meteorologist Jacob Montesano will have more on that and the storm threat. He'll time that out using Future Track coming up a little later, but I'll toss back inside to you guys. Brady, Susan.
All right, Savannah, enjoy it. Thank you so much. And just a reminder, you can track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn Weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather.
We have new information regarding a double homicide in the town of Middleton yesterday. News 3 Now has confirmed the victims are David and Terry Pabst. David Pabst worked for the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. In an email to WISC staff, the agency's secretary said Bureau Director David Pabst and his wife died Tuesday at their Dane County home. Housing records show the Pabst own the Middleton home on Stonebrook Circle, where the homicides happened. News 3 Now's Arman Rahman is covering the story, and we will check in with him at 5 o'clock. A new bill in the Wisconsin Capitol aims to help small-town police forces train new officers.
Political reporter Will Keneally is at the Capitol with more.
Small-town police departments across Wisconsin are facing staffing shortages, and this bill aims to alleviate that by giving grants to small-town police departments. This will cover the training costs for these officers while in the academy and of 6 months of on-the-job training. It's a bipartisan bill which lawmakers say could make a difference.
The big one is hiring, getting qualified applicants, and then they have the inability to send them to the police academy because of funding. So generally, with a rare exception, almost everybody who goes to the police academy is already sponsored by an agency. So smaller departments just don't have the ability to do that.
Now, this bill is currently circulating behind the scenes, and coming up at 6, we'll have more on how this could impact your community. Reporting outside the state capitol, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Will. We'll see you at 6. The Wisconsin Elections Commission is done with its investigation into Madison's clerk after nearly 200 ballots went uncounted in the November election. The commission will meet to discuss next steps next week, but a draft of the investigation's finding says the clerk, Mary Beth Witzel-Bale, acted contrary to the law by failing to properly train election inspectors. She also failed to notify proper officials once she found out that there were uncounted ballots.
Another Republican is throwing his hat in the race to be Wisconsin's next governor. Bill Berrien launched his gubernatorial campaign this morning. He's the CEO of the New Berlin-based Pindel Global Precision and a former Navy SEAL. Berrien's website says he's focused on boosting manufacturing, supporting President Trump's immigration policies, and lowering taxes. Berrien has also indicated he's opposed to allowing trans women to compete in women's sports or use the locker room of the gender that aligns with their identities. The election is on November 3rd, 2026.
Well, Gigi's Playhouse, a local organization that expands opportunities to those with Down syndrome, is raising money for a brand new home.
News 3 Now's Jalen Banks caught up with the Playhouse and its goals on where they may be headed. Jalen?
Brady and Susan, Gigi's Playhouse has launched its capital campaign to raise money for what they believe will be their new forever home, and that'll be in Fitchburg. They're currently located on Madison's east side, right off of Monona Drive, and they say that being located in Fitchburg gives them a more centralized location for those that they serve. Gigi's Playhouse is a nearly 100% volunteer and donation-based organization that offers therapeutic and educational programming for those with Down syndrome.
I am completely blown away and full of gratitude because when I started, we had just over 250 families. We now have over 400 families that we're serving, and this new space is going to allow us to reach even more people and serve them in even more impactful ways.
When completed, the new building will nearly double the space they currently have. Their goal is to raise $4 million, and so far they've raised $2 million. Now, the Playhouse plans to break ground on their new building this fall with plans of a year-long build, and after that, they'll be finally moving into that building fall of 26 full-time. Now, if you're interested in any information or if you're interested in donating, there's a link to that on our website at channel3000.com.
Well, very nice. Very happy for them all over there. Thanks, Jalen. A 3-time Emmy Award winner is bringing his show to Madison next week.
Our Josh Spreiter sits down with Greg Marshall to talk about his storytelling process a little later.
Plus, storm chances return tomorrow. Jacob Montesano tells us when they could arrive.
And then we're back. When we're back, we're going to go back down to the Capitol Square. Kyrian Lee and Eric Franke join us from Concerts on the Square. We'll have more on what you can expect tonight. Welcome back, everyone. Boy, summer's going by fast.
It is.
Too fast. It's already week 3 of Concerts on the Square.
I know. It's like we're there right now.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Wish we
background.
were.
Kyrian Lee, Savannah Brito, and Eric Franke are living their best lives. They're actually downtown right now. And Eric and Kyrian have more information on what attendees can expect tonight.
This is such a great shift to get, or a gig to come down here and get to talk about this.
Yes.
This is truly one of the special things. And I think this is the only time I'm going to be down here this summer doing these live shots to preview Concerts on the Square. And it reminds you just how special Concerts on the Square is when you see folks out here putting their blankets out on the lawn and getting ready for some music.
Yes, it was great vibes last year, and we think the vibes are even better this year. Already seeing the Capitol line filling up pretty quickly here. Obviously, people got out here as early as 3 to mark those spots.
And they've like marked off from the last time I was down here for Concerts on the Square. Some streets are closed off. There's a lot more food trucks down here, so Bring your appetite if you're coming down as well. A lot of local food vendors are selling their food on the square as well. So that is also part of the event down here.
Yes, and it's going to be a great show tonight. Got the theme American Song and got a wonderful artist, internationally acclaimed artist, Angela Brown.
Yeah, she's an opera singer, a soprano. So I think this is going to be one of those emotional things. You know how opera singers make people cry? I think this is going to be beautiful tonight. It's the sound of the orchestra mixed with this beautiful soprano opera singer who has performed in all corners of the world, really from Maestro Sewell's Auckland, New Zealand, to Cape Town, to Paris, and right here in Madison as well.
Yes, and I think it'll be a good mix because there will be lots of features from other Black composers.
Right.
So
Very
it'll
multicultural performance tonight.
Yes, looking forward to it. So the music kicks off at 7, but I have my kiddos here with me. So there is a WCO kid booth that they're setting up right now. So if you have the kids, bring them on down. There's plenty to do.
A great chance for them to get exposed to this kind of music. Gershwin, Bernstein, and this beautiful opera sound, all part of the festivities tonight. We're going to talk more at 5 with Maestro Andrew Sewell to talk about what he envisioned with this performance tonight and what it's all about. Brady, Susan, back to you.
Very nice. Yeah, and I hope Kyrion's kids have fun. What a great thing to bring the whole family to.
I was just going to say, get the kids in the shot. We want to see the kid. Nothing against you, Eric, but we really like to see the kids.
Look at them at 5.
Look at them at 5, yeah.
Okay, all right. Have fun, guys.
Well, coming up on Live at 4, Josh Spreiter previews an upcoming performance in the 608.
We'll hear his interview with 3-time Emmy winner Greg Marshall when Live at 4 continues.
Now this is where you want to be on a Wednesday night, concerts on the square.
Yep, boy, this really is such a special Madison tradition and seize the day because there's only 3 more.
What? How did that happen?
I know. Still time to put a blanket down. The music begins at 7 p.m. and the theme tonight is American Song.
I think we can still make it. On the 608, we're sitting down with 3-time Emmy Award winning storyteller Greg Marshall.
Josh Spreiter shows us he's bringing his acclaimed one-person show, I love this title, Greg Marshall Pops Out of the Trees, to Madison's The Burr Oak on Monday, July 14th.
We want to welcome in Greg Marshall today, a local storyteller who has a show coming up next week. Greg, good to talk to you.
Thanks for hanging out with me.
Yeah, so you're a local storyteller. What exactly does that mean?
Well, I help other people create their stories as a part of my regular life career, but I also perform stories through regular storytelling and music, and I'm performing a show in Madison.
What is that show all about? Tell us about it.
Well, it's a mix of, like I said, storytelling and music. I use my voice, guitar, and a looping pedal and some pre-produced music to help score it. But it's a true story about my life. Starts with me running from the police and ends with a happy ending of me on a beach homeless. And so it's a lot of ups and downs in the middle. It's funny, it's a lot of emotion, but it's a really easy to enjoy story.
In Greg's videos, it's easy to see this man has many talents, working multiple instruments on the spot and turning anything into a performance. One of Greg's favorite things to do is freestyle. Where he takes any topic from the audience and turns it into a special moment. So I gave him this topic, summertime at the lake in Wisconsin, and here is his response.
It's my freestyle for free for my friends at Channel 3. One of my favorite places to be is by the water with the family that's mine, my wife and 4 daughters. I love being on the water, the paddleboard, a canoe. Nothing is more true. It brings joy to my heart. It's like a light to the dark. We're moving on from the snow. The sun is back, and I know that's what helps the smiles to grow.
In Madison, I'm Josh Spreiter, News 3 Now.
That was really cool.
Wow, well done.
Yeah.
Very talented.
Very talented indeed. Greg's show is Monday night at the Burr Oak in Madison. Doors open at 7 p.m. and the show is at 8.
Tickets are $20 in advance or $25 the day of, and we have a link to all of the tickets on channel3000.com.
I'm tempted to do some rhyming for the forecast to send it over to Jacob, but no, I'm just going to stay in my lane. Jacob, how's the weather looking?
I'm with you, Brady. I feel like that would be a fun idea if I had, all the time in the world to create that, but I'm not talented enough to create it off the top of my head. Now, let's take a look at the 3 things you need to know. We are going to see a chance of some showers and storms later on Thursday, but the storms will be more likely for Friday and Saturday, but that will lead to very nice conditions for Sunday. So there are some good days in the forecast up ahead. But with those chances of storms also brings the chance of some strong storms. Madison and areas to the west have a marginal risk tomorrow. Marginal risk for everybody, though, on Friday, and there's even a slight risk creeping into parts of our area with a larger slight risk across Iowa. So looking at the most likely hazards during this, they will be in the form of strong winds, maybe some minor hail and some heavy rain that could lead to some minor flooding. Right now, there's nothing to suggest we'll see any tornadic activity, but we'll definitely keep an eye on the potential for that. So timing out all this rain, we're not going to see any for the rest of this evening and tonight. We are going to see some clouds develop for Thursday morning with a good chance of those showers and storms west of Madison early in the day. But then as we get towards later in the day, the storms look to be a little bit more isolated, but everyone across our area will see at least a chance of some of that rain. Looks like the best chance will be for areas south across northern Illinois. Again, some of these storms could be on the stronger side, but they're not going to impact our entire area for Thursday. But fast forward to Friday into Saturday, pretty much everybody will see rain at that point. So we'll see some showers and storms Friday morning. Might get a little bit of a break at times during the day, but then later Friday evening and Friday night, we're going to see a line of showers and storms roll through, bringing in some of that heavy rain to possibly the entire area, maybe not as much for places east of Madison, but then Saturday, we're going to see more of that rainfall, and that will likely impact everyone at that point. And for Saturday, it doesn't look like we're going to see a strong chance of severe weather, and that will clear out Saturday night with Sunday looking relatively dry. So to recap, all these rain chances are going to slowly increase over the next couple of days. Again, a chance for storms Thursday, better chance on Friday. Best chance will be Friday night, and then Saturday we also have a good chance to see that rainfall. So a lot of rain to end the week, but temperatures are not going to change too much despite that rainfall, and we are looking dry to start next week for Sunday and most of Monday, with those storms returning for the middle of the week. And then Wednesday of next week and continuing towards the end of the 10-day forecast, we actually may see high temperatures in the upper 70s.
Well, heads up if you're a regular at the farmers market. This weekend, the farmers market will be at Breeze Stevens Field.
Right, that's because the annual art fair on the square returns to Madison this weekend. The Madison Museum of Contemporary Art is hosting the 67th annual art fair on July 12th and the 13th. And you can find a full list of participating artists and information about the Dane County Farmers Market change on channel3000.com. And it is also art fair off the square on MLK Boulevard.
That's right. And every year it always seems like it's the hottest weekend of the year for art fair, but this year maybe not. It's just going to be nice.
No, Sunday will be nice. We are going to see that rainfall for Saturday. Let's take another look at the 10-day forecast. So yeah, Saturday we are going to see some rain. Sunday though does look to be pretty good. Definitely on the warmer side, but it's a lot. It's going to be a lot nicer than it could be. You know, we could see those highs well in the 90s, but we're not having any of those days in the forecast. If anything, we may see temperatures below normal by the time we get to the middle and end of next week.
Look at that, 70s. Looks
Sounds
good. Thank you, Jacob. We'll be right back. We'll talk about what's new at this year's art fairs on and off the square. And straight ahead tonight at 5, our Ellie LaLiberte shows us what the State Elections Commission found during its investigation into the Madison missing ballots. That's straight ahead at 5. That'll do it for us at 4 this afternoon. Thanks for watching, everybody. We hope to see you back here tomorrow. You can always find us 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.